Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Sip and Smoke podcast with myself and Billy. How you doing, Billy?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Today we've got a special guest. No, we haven't.
No guests.
No guests.
It's a few and far between with no guests, isn't it? But sometimes it's quite nice to sit down and just sort of have a catch up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, I suppose we'll get straight into the cigars.
Yeah.
What are you sampling today?
So today, you guys will receive it in your box, the Inca Secret Blend Reservador Robusto. Now this is, well, a Robusto comes in at 4 7/8 of an inch long with a 50 ring gauge. This is a Peruvian Puro, and I've not actually tried this one yet, so I'm really excited about it. But I do have a really cool fact about it. So I've got it here. It says, made using the Pelo de Oro seed, which is exceptionally hard to grow successfully, as it is how do you say the word?
Susceptible,
that's the one, to blue mold disease. They managed to harvest enough grade A leaf to create this line of cigars, which is ironic because we eat cheese and we've got a blue cheese.
Well, I don't eat cheese.
Well, you don't eat cheese.
Because of the mould situation. But yeah, it is a strange one, isn't it? But yeah, no, it's a cigar that, to be fair, there's a guy that comes in all the time and buys multiple of these cigars and he swears by them. He's been mentioning to myself and to you to sample it, to try it, and we just never got round to it. But today's the day, I guess.
Yeah. So shout out to Darren.
Yeah,
You've inspired us.
Hopefully it's as good as they make out.
Yeah, what have you got?
I have, well, to be fair, this is a cigar that's been on my radar for a while. I mean, I sampled a variation. I say a variation. It's kind of, well, I've got the EP Carrillo Encore Noir Majestic No. 2, and now this has been on my radar, as I just mentioned, since around about November, December time, from when I sampled the other EP Carrillo Encore Majestic, which did win Cigar of the Year by Cigar Aficionado in 2018. So the age-old question was kind of, are EP Carrillo able to create another cigar with that kind of tobacco and live up to the hype that the Encore Majestic originally brought over? Mm-hmm. And I mean, today I've finally got the chance to sit down and see whether they've managed to do so. I mean, it features a much darker wrapper this time around, a very different design on the band, and obviously a very slight name change, but phenomenal looking cigar. The rose gold, the dark leaf, just
it's
really
almost an Oscuro. Would you say it's an Oscuro? It's very close, if not.
It's very close, yeah. I think Oscuro is almost like more black than this, but it is a very, very dark wrapper. But again, as you guys who follow on with the podcast and the videos that me and Lewis put out, I am a massive fan and I do sort of draw towards the darker wrappers.
Yes.
This one is 5 3/8 of an inch long with a ring gauge of 52 and is a Nicaraguan Puro.
Nice Puros.
Yeah, 2 Puros, 1 Peruvian, 1 Nicaraguan. I mean, Nicaraguan tobacco, to be fair, over the last few months, I cannot get enough of it. The bold flavours, you know, the little bit more strength, punchiness, I'm just really, really enjoying it.
I think it's got a really nice complexity to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, there are different parts of Nicaragua where some of the tobacco is a bit more sweet, but it's dominantly more intense, I would say, personally.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, as you say, it's just bold flavours coming out of Nicaragua. But as I say, I'm one to really quite enjoy that. And yeah, I cannot wait to get into this one. I really cannot. I've been harping on about it for a while, haven't I? So yeah, hopefully it lives up to my expectation, which I am sure it will do.
Yeah. I do also want to apologise if we look really red because this room is warm. I feel like a rotisserie chicken. It's hot in this room. So.
It is hot. I've braved it and kept my sweatshirt on. Hopefully I don't live to regret that decision.
I mean, you're always hot, so
yeah, it's a bit of a strange choice for me, but as I say, we'll settle in.
Yeah, let's know what cigar you guys picked to enjoy alongside us. We're looking forward to hearing your feedback on that.
Cool. Smoke output straight off this is phenomenal. The aroma coming off that as well, it's really, really
smells good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really, really enjoyable. Well, I suppose do a little bit of a catch up, I guess. It's been a long time coming. Usually we have a lot of questions to ask our guests, but obviously it's just me and you this time. So how you been? How's life? How's everything kind of coming together? Busy?
Yeah, I mean, very busy. Obviously, us at C.Gars, like, we're non-stop. But in general, I feel like my day is the same day in, day out. I wake up, I come to work, go to the gym, go home, wash, eat.
You sound like me about a year ago.
Literally non-stop. And that's pretty much my life.
Yeah.
So there's not really anything that interesting going on lately. I have done a few trips.
I was going to say, there's been a few things, but obviously we'll touch on them a little bit later on. But you have had a few trips. You've been here, there and everywhere, so it seems. But some exciting opportunities have come your way.
Yeah.
As I say, hopefully more in the future.
Yeah.
But yes.
What about yourself though? Because I feel like you do a lot more than me.
Well, you say that. I don't think I do too much. I mean, obviously I'm a little bit worse for wear right now with the old hand, but...
oh yeah, the elephant in the room.
Yeah, so obviously I wasn't in the office on Monday. I had a great little trip down to A&E. I was in there for the majority of the day. Had to have stitches, or butterfly stitches, not the legitimate ones. But basically what's happened is I've emptied the dishwasher and a mug. As I've dried the mug coming out, it's shattered in my hand. The handle or whatever was in this hand has then just gone straight down the side of my finger. And the amount of blood was slightly alarming. So, a little bit of a trip to A&E, which isn't the most exciting time of my life, especially on a Monday morning. It couldn't get any worse, but we're here. We live to see another day, so. Yeah,
I mean, don't get me wrong. The NHS staff are fantastic, right? What were they doing? We are extremely lucky. But the wait.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you are, let's say, like a young adult and you're fit and healthy, like I would say us two, you are going to be waiting a while, aren't you?
Yeah. I mean, it was quite thingy, though, because as I said to you the other day, there was an older woman sat with, like, not with us, but away from me, over the other side. And it looked as if she'd tripped, fell or something. And, her face was all bloody and, knees and everything. And she was sat there just as long as I was. So it's a strange one, but as you say, they do have a lot of things to do. They have a lot of different cases to worry about and things like that. So you kind of have to expect a little bit of a wait. You can't.
Yeah.
Accidents happen, so.
Yeah.
But it was annoying. I kind of walked in there and it was a 2-hour waiting time, and then after about 3 hours of being there, the waiting time then said 4 hours, and it was like, it's just going up and up and up and up.
Yeah.
But the nurse that helped me, really, 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 really nice, really helpful. But yeah, I've got to go back to the GP or the doctor to get it all checked over and looked at, but hopefully it'll all be...
It's lucky you haven't got a cast on.
Yeah,
because they're really uncomfortable, especially if you're itchy.
Mm-hmm.
They are the worst.
So the only thing with this is that that's annoying me is obviously the bandage that goes over the finger is...
There's no gap.
There's a closed top, so there's no airflow or anything like that, so it just feels a bit horrible.
But... Got a cigar cutter here. You just straight cut on it.
We'll just get some scissors out and cut it through. But yeah, can't complain. As I say, should be around about 10 days, hopefully. If it flows on any longer than that, we might have a little bit of trouble when it comes to... It could have been worse. The hike, but yes, it definitely could have been worse. It could have, well, you never know. Could have lost a finger
or something like.
Yeah, I got off pretty lucky in the end, so can't complain too much. But
crazy. I remember when I broke my elbow. I was 7. That was fun.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, I remember it was the first day we moved into our house. And there was a slide in the garden. My mum said to me and my sister, "Don't go on the slide, it's dangerous." And so my sister was like, "Let's go on the slide." So I went on the slide.
Right.
And I fell off and cracked my elbow on the concrete. Apparently my bone was sticking out. I don't think it was out of the skin, but it was like very obvious.
I bet your mum just kind of sat there thinking, right, I told you so. Which is the famous one that nobody ever wants to hear. But these things happen. As I say, we live to see another day, so we're all...
Do apologise.
No problem. But yeah, as I say, it's what, 2 weeks until I'm off again for the hike. So I kind of wanted to get it all... Well, I say kind of wanted to as if I planned it. I kind of wanted to make sure that now this is going to be, healed and everything by then, because if not, prone to infection and things like that. So
talking of the hike, though...
Yeah.
Have you mentioned this before?
I'm not 100% sure if I have. I might have done on a previous episode somewhere along the line, but yeah. It's
a big hike. When we say hike, we're not talking like a 5-10 mile hike.
No, it's 200 miles. It's quite a popular thing. Quite a lot of people do it over the years and things, but it's called the Coast to Coast Walk. You start over in the Peak District at St. Bees, I believe, and then you walk basically all the way across to the East Coast at Robin Hood's Bay and finish there. So, yeah, around about 20-ish miles every day, couple nights, but camping the whole way through. So
that's crazy. I hope you've got good hiking shoes.
Yeah, I went to Ireland recently. I think I mentioned on here in the last couple of episodes, but I went to Ireland and we bought some hiking gear and stuff. Still need to order a tent, sleeping bags, pretty much everything.
And you've only got 2 weeks to go?
Yeah.
You should probably do that soon.
Yeah, I mean, I was planning on doing it for about the last week, and I just haven't got around to it yet. But hopefully, everything will be ordered this evening, and then test run in the tent overnight, which is always fun. Slap it up in the garden and spend the night out there. But
so, is this coast to coast? Is this organised by a company, or is it literally just you go and do it when you want, as you please? How does it work?
I think there's multiple different ways you can do it. You can actually pay and have a guide with you. It's an organisation, so if you search sort of online, Coast to Coast Walk UK, there's a whole organised route and everything that's in place for you. All of the campsites and all the different accommodation places they leave a few rooms in little places that you can go and sleep in and things like that. So
that's cool.
It's quite organised. It's fairly straightforward to do. Obviously costs a decent amount for camping, but obviously you're in a different place every single day. So obviously you expect it. But
yeah,
I believe you can have a guide. We're just sort of going straight at it. It's just no guide. We're getting there on the 5th, sleeping over, and then start on the morning.
Well, I suppose it depends on how updated you are with technology, because obviously nowadays we've all got our phones. We can just check Google Maps or whatever. Make sure you download the map as well, though, because I've made the mistake of going somewhere and not having the map downloaded and having no internet, and then you don't know where you are.
Yeah.
So do that.
I think we've got a PDF folder or something saved. So as I say, we should have pretty much everything covered, but I mean, it's trial and error at the end of the day. It can either go really, really well. It could go Pete Tong and we have a few issues, but it's going to be a very cool experience to kind of be a part of, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I imagine the views are going to be phenomenal, especially in the Peak District.
100%. And to be honest, I can't wait to just sample a few new cigars along the way.
How many do you reckon you'll take?
Well, see, I've been thinking about it because obviously Colin enjoys a cigar as well, so I'm kind of the cigar man of the family. I have to kind of deal with it. But yeah, I'll probably, I don't know, somewhere between 10, 20 maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2 weeks, isn't it?
It's around 2 weeks,
Yeah, so probably ideal.
I mean, you know me, I'll end up enjoying a cigar pretty much every day, so that's already, say, 14. So if I take a few extra, get up to sort of 20, then we should be fine. Yeah. Hopefully.
Not bad. Can't complain about that. Although it depends on the weather as well, because I believe, is it in Wales, the weather isn't that great? It's like sort of towards that way, and then you get towards Ireland, which is just horrendous.
Yeah, Ireland is very wet, but the West Coast is, and up north into Scotland is normally quite wet, if you like. We're actually quite lucky. We always complain down in the east that it's so wet, it's always raining, but we're actually one of the driest parts of the country. So
are we actually?
I'm pretty sure. I could get that wrong, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I've heard somewhere along the line that we're quite dry.
Yeah, our weather really isn't that bad. I think it's more so because we are located on the coast, you get that wind, which is really cold.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are lucky.
I think as well, it's the mindset as well, because whenever I go to Ireland, it's 9 times out of 10 it's always raining, but the rain never stops you doing anything. So like last time I was there, I did the hike up the mountain and we got caught in the rain at the top. But it's kind of one of them things where you expect it that much that it's like, it's part of it. You kind of enjoy it.
Once you're at the top, you got to go down anyway.
Well, yeah, but the rain never seems to be an inconvenience. It's not the same kind of rain that you get here, if that makes sense. It's not freezing cold, real windy and things like that. It's,
like you're not moaning about it. It's just part of day-to-day life.
Yeah, exactly. I think we could probably adopt that mentality over this way. But
first world problems, sir.
Exactly, we love it. But I thought, enough about me. I want to quickly go back to these cigars because mine's got off to a very, very good start.
Yeah, this is good as well. Start off with yours, though. I'm interested.
I'm getting a very, very subtle note of chocolate in the background of this cigar.
Okay.
On the forefront, it's not a spice, but it's almost got the characteristics of a spice, if that makes sense. No, it's not got the tingle, but the flavour profile there is kind of a little bit spicy, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
A little bit like a pepper. But yeah, as I say, on the back end of the smoke, it's a little bit sweeter, and it's got a very, very subtle hint of chocolate, which I'm really, really enjoying. But yeah.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
That sounds really good. Construction looks good.
Yeah, the burn has been pretty much perfect. Draw, I mean, as I said at the start of the podcast, straight off the first light, the smoke output is thick, it's creamy, or not so much creamy, but thick. Coats the palate really, really nicely, and yeah, draws really, really good.
Nice. Good.
What about that?
I'm enjoying it. This is, I wouldn't say flavour-wise there's all too much going on, but it's just really creamy and smooth right now. Mm-hmm. It's just really easy going. The draw, I wish, was a little bit more open, but that's a preference. Again, there's a little bit of resistance there. As you can see in the end, it's quite plugged up with tobacco. Yeah, it's
for sure.
Not in a bad way, but you just know that this is going to smoke really well. Mm-hmm. Construction's really good in general, though. Like the burn is phenomenal. You got a really nice burn on that.
The ash is stacking well as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It does taste really good. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but these are exclusive?
I believe so, yeah, I think so. They're definitely a featured brand. Whether they're solely exclusive to us now, I'm not 100% certain. I would have to check. But yeah, they are a very, very good brand. One that's been created by Mitchell again.
Yeah, I really love the design of the band. Mm-hmm. It's like the geometric style.
Yeah, it's almost like, do they call it like mosaic? Like,
yeah,
or is
like
that
the tiles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's an intriguing brand.
Who's that on the band? Do you know?
Remember that?
There's someone on the band. Don't recall.
I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% certain.
Need to find that out because that's interesting. There's a picture of someone on the band, and it looks like an actual picture as well. It doesn't look like it's been drawn. No. It's really cool though. I love the gold and the turquoise, which goes in with the accessory that I've got later on.
Yeah. Speaking of, obviously, we'll show it in a little bit about that.
It's beautiful. Yeah, it's very really
lovely,
cool.
Piece of kit there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, moving on from sort of the cigars and our first impressions then, I mean, you went somewhere... Oh yeah, almost.
We didn't even talk about the sip.
We always miss this bit. We always miss this bit.
We are the Sip and Smoke podcast, and we only focus on the smoke and not the sip.
I know.
So we do apologise.
But we do have an upcoming guest that will talk a little bit more, and we'll go a lot more into depth on the whiskey and the spirit side of things. So stay tuned for that podcast coming very, very soon.
Excited for that.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Great guest as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. Great personality.
But I'll let you go. What we got?
This is the Glendronach 12-year-old. This is a Highland single malt Scotch whiskey. Mm-hmm. I think this is just a classic. I mean, everyone knows this brand.
Yeah.
Like, you'll recognise this everywhere you go. It's just a really iconic brand and whiskey in general. It says on the nose it's going to be sweet, creamy vanilla with hints of ginger and autumn fruits.
It's very funny because I was literally then about to say, if you smell it, it's very, very sweet.
Yeah. On the palate, rich, creamy, silky smooth, warm, rich oak and sherry sweetness. Full mouthfeel, raisins, soft fruits. Spicy with a medium length and dry finish. Spicy with medium length. What does that mean?
Well, I suppose it means, well, if you have a short finish, the flavour doesn't last on your palate for too long. If you have a long finish, it's there for a fair long time after. I suppose medium is somewhere in between.
Well, it says finish long, full and firm, slightly nutty. Everything. It's got everything. I mean, they thought, fuck it, like, we'll just put every taste note on there.
You know, I've just had a little sip. For me, there's a little bit of heat. It's nice. Really, really smooth. Goes down really, really easily. In your stomach, you're getting a little bit of heat.
Oh, yeah.
You can definitely get a little bit of the sweetness, but I'm getting, I know it isn't mentioned, but a very, very subtle smokiness.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's like a real forward peaty taste, but it's definitely a little bit of an essence of smoke in there.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Mm-hmm. I know exactly what you mean. Let us know what you guys are trying as well at home if you're pairing with anything. Not bad. Let's see how it goes with the cigar.
So for me, it mellows the sweetness down a little bit of the cigar. That little hint of chocolate that I was getting, you don't really get that anymore. I want to say it's almost like not a citrus, but that kind of freshness coming from it with the mix. They kind of complementing each other really, really nicely.
I was going to say, they weren't lying when they said it was a long finish.
Yeah, I can still
It's
taste it.
still like really prominent. I think for the Inca, the whiskey overpowers it a little bit.
Okay. In what way? As in, like, it just mellows it completely, or?
I think it's just that, like you said, that smokiness. Because it's such a strong finish, it's just always there. And I feel like it's coated my palate too much, so now I can't fully taste the cigar. I could be wrong, but it's just the way I think about it.
That's the good thing. You're never wrong.
You
can't be wrong. It's a pairing. It doesn't always work with everything, as we always harp on about. But yeah, I think it was kind of to be fair, the pairing, we always kind of, it's like a last minute, not necessarily last minute, but it's a back end thought when it comes to doing this, right? It's kind of, the pairing isn't always thought out thoroughly as such. We probably should think a little bit more, but it's kind of a way for us to sample new things and stuff like that and see how things work. Because the one thing that we say at events, and the one thing that you'll hear at events all the time, is if it kind of works for you and you like these two things, see how they work together. Sometimes they won't, sometimes they will.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, for us on this occasion, the pairing doesn't work for your end.
No.
On mine, it seems to be pretty good. Obviously, two very different cigars, different flavor profiles. But that is literally just the art of pairing. It's a never-ending search for the perfect one.
Yeah, definitely. I do think if I had a stronger cigar, more of a prominent flavor profile, maybe like the Foundation David or Placencia Almafuerte, brilliant, because they're both intense. But for me, this cigar is not intense enough to get the notes and true enjoyment from it with the pairing of the whiskey.
Fair enough.
But again, everyone's different, like you said.
Of course. What do you reckon would go well with that? More like a Speyside.
Speyside, 100%. Yeah, like the Stalladu Speyside behind me, the blue bottle. Phenomenal whiskey.
See, we kind of differ on that as well, because obviously the two of us aren't massive whiskey drinkers, you know, outside of work we don't tend to kind of delve too deeply into that. But for me, I like a little bit more peatiness, and you kind of like the more mellow, subtle flavours. It's quite how it started with the cigars as well, right?
I was just going to say, so it could change.
Exactly.
It could change. It just depends how much we're willing to try, you know?
Of course,
and obviously we're always open-minded about trying anything anyway. And as you mentioned, we've got a guest on the next episode, which will introduce us to another whiskey and talk to us a little bit about the processes behind whiskey. And I think in doing so, you learn to appreciate the art a little bit more as well. Like, we've both been to the Davidoff factory. We've seen it happen. We've seen how the cigars are made and stored and everything. And you get that real appreciation for it and just understand it a lot better. And I think if we understand the whiskey side a bit more,
for sure. Yeah, for sure. As you say, trying to explain that trip and understand the process when it's just word of mouth is one thing. You can definitely get an understanding, but once you actually see it in daylight, in person, that whole appreciation just skyrockets.
Yeah, it's funny because obviously this goes back to the argument surrounding price of cigars. Now, I know that they're taxed heavily in the UK. I know, and it's horrible, sure. But after seeing the process and the care and the amount of hands that go into it, 300 hands behind a cigar, it makes sense why they're priced the way they are.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. Obviously, we won't get into it too much, but the way the UK government taxes tobacco and things like that it does give a much broader sort of understanding, I guess, in terms of how cigars are priced in the UK. Obviously, we did the trip recently, which we'll talk about, but it's taxed by kilo. And I mean, for every kilo of tobacco coming to the UK, it's £417 and 20 something p, but that's per kilo. So if you think, maybe 1-2 boxes, maybe?
Yeah.
So that just in tax is £400+ on top of that every single time you bring that 2 boxes in. So it definitely gives you more of an understanding as to why the prices are way higher. Obviously, the rest of Europe and US, etc., they're taxed very differently. But obviously, that's out of our control. We can complain as much as we like, but it won't change, unfortunately.
No.
But I suppose talking about trying new things and things like that, you had a very, very cool opportunity over this past weekend.
I did.
You went to the AITS Ignite trade show.
I did.
Weekend. And
it was fantastic. So myself, Amy, Chris and Laura from here anyway, went up to Whittlebury Park for the AITS Ignite show. This is a show where a bunch of suppliers and retailers in the cigar industry and vape industry as well get together, and a lot of suppliers will sell products to the retailers. We find new products and buy new products, try new things. It was a really great event, and I was so thankful to be able to go. So thank you, Mitchell, and to everyone, Dominique, for London, for having me there. And it was so cool. Like, it really was.
You get to see, because a lot of sort of releases happen around this time of year, right? And a lot of people come, and a lot of brands and a lot of suppliers like to do their UK releases at these trade shows. And obviously, we had on the previous episode, we were lucky enough with Callie from Tour coming over to have a first look and a first try of the Durastate Blackened range.
Yeah.
They are now in the UK, ready for a purchase and things like that. So, I mean, that's the only one I've not necessarily seen, but the only one that I've actually had the joy of sampling. But you had, obviously, Hunters release the Monte Cristo Open Slam.
Yeah, great cigar again.
Yeah. And then Barker's did a few. They did the Las Villas.
Las Villas, yeah.
Yeah, they did that.
I tried that. That was really good.
Really good price too.
Yeah. I can't remember the price fully, but so I'm gonna have to have a drink.
Yeah,
My throat's
no problem.
killing me.
I want to say it's roughly, if I was to hazard a guess, it's around £10 to £15 for the Robusto, somewhere around about that price range.
Yeah, in between that price range. Yeah.
But another great cigar. Obviously, I didn't get the opportunity to sample it there, but
I will actually talk about that quickly, because
go on.
I did try that cigar, and I bought one back for you as well.
Yep.
So thank you, Chris, for that. That's an interesting blend, because the filler has 3 Ligero leaves. And for those who don't know, the Ligero leaf is towards the top of the plant, of the tobacco plant. And typically on the tobacco plant, it grows from the bottom up. And the bottom is the weakest and the top is the strongest. So Ligero's, it's up there. There is one above Ligero, I can't remember what it's called exactly, but they don't tend to use that because it's so bitter and intense. So Ligero is typically the strongest that brands will go for. So the filler of the Las Villas selection, I think it might be called, I could be wrong, but that has 3 Ligero leaves in the filler. And so I said, I did say, I was like, so correct me if I'm wrong, but this is going to be a really intense, long smoking cigar.
Which you would definitely make the assumption with that Ligero leaf, right?
Yeah, so the Ligero leaf is a lot thicker than like the Seco towards the bottom. So it takes a lot longer to burn, and obviously it's more intense. But I was told, actually, although you're right, you're actually incorrect. Those leaves, I think they said they ferment it for longer than the standard amount of time. I think they said it around 90 days, and typically it's around 60 days you ferment for. That's right, isn't it?
Sorry? Yeah. I think the fermentation phase, it changes subtly here and there, depending on blend and leaves that they're fermenting. But yeah, roughly around about that.
Yeah, so they ferment for an extra 30 odd days. And that gets rid of all the nasties, as I said. So it takes a lot of the nicotine out and also that bitterness.
Right.
So you are effectively getting a smoother cigar and not a slow burning. It's not a quick burning cigar, but it's not a slow burning cigar. And so I had it after a meal because I was like, this is going to blow my head away. It was so smooth.
Yeah.
It was smooth. It was earthy. There was spice in it. There was a dominant spice, I would say, but it wasn't intense because you know that I'm not huge on spice. That cigar was really good, and I bought one back for you as well.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying that as well. But it's funny because obviously we always talk about misconceptions, right? And that is the perfect example for a common misconception. You know, you hear Ligero or you see a really dark wrapper, and you instantly think, oh, that's going to be very, very strong, blah, blah, blah. But as you've just found out, enjoying that cigar, sampling that cigar, it's the complete opposite in most cases. But yeah, that's amazing. As I say, it's an opportunity that hopefully I will be along with in the future. Couldn't make it this time, unfortunately. But yeah, I look forward to it. And as I say, there was plenty going on.
A lot of seminars, which were fantastic as well. I want to give a shout out to George from 1573. Did a really fantastic seminar, actually, because it was titled something about 1573 cigars, right? So you think it's going to be about 1573 or Foundation cigars. Again, I was really excited because Foundation's my favorite brand, and I don't know if I can say that. It's one of my favorite brands, and George is a fantastic character, but he talked about service and how important it is. So he was explaining about how he would go to these really important like homes or like not castles, I can't remember the name for it, but really important places with important people and do a service to serve them a cigar. So he went through the whole process. It was just so he's such an engaging person to listen to, and the way he tells stories is just phenomenal. And honestly, it was such a pleasure to be in that seminar and listen to him talk. Really was. And I hope that one day he comes here and he will
do the same thing.
Hopefully we can film it as well. It'll be absolutely fantastic.
He's always a very captivating person to speak to, have a conversation with and listen to. Because you say, he grabs your attention straight away. Even when as soon as he walks through the room, into the room, you know exactly he's there, kind of thing. It's definitely a presence, and obviously we've both been very lucky to sit down on numerous occasions to pick his brains, because as we always say, he's kind of the encyclopedia to the cigar world for us.
He is, but he's so humble about it as well. Like he acts like he doesn't know anything. Yeah, but he will tell you all of this amazing information that you've never heard of before. That's not in any books or anything like that. He's just.
So, I want to touch on the Monte Cristo Open Slam. Right, and there's a reason for it. Obviously, I've always had, not necessarily an opinion, but I've always sort of tend to go for sort of New World cigars, right? That's what we review the most of, there's always new blends and new things coming out from the New World side of things. And Cuba, they have less new releases, a lot of edition imitadas and things like that come out for specific markets. But in terms of everyday sort of production, there's never really too many new things coming. No,
it's very rare, yeah.
But I have recently sampled many more Cuban cigars than I have been previously. And I've got to say, although I would say that the complexity and the variation in blend isn't the same, you can definitely appreciate what a Cuban cigar brings you. Yeah. I feel like I can sit down and think, okay, I know from the first draw exactly what I'm getting throughout the whole thing. It kind of eases your mind worrying about thinking, what it's going to bring, what's this going to do, what's this blend like, blah, blah, blah. All the different variations in tobacco and things. That Cuban's very straightforward to really understand, right? Yeah. In my personal opinion, obviously a lot of people who have better palates than me will sit there and say, no, you get a lot of variation, you get a lot of this. Me personally, I find I get more from a New World, but that's just personal preference. But I would say that the Cuban cigars that I've been sampling recently have really, really shocked me, and I've really, really enjoyed them. Yeah. The trip that we had to London, obviously we'll talk about that a little bit. We had the opportunity to go over to Hunters and Francois, their main office, with Jimmy McGee, who is I can't remember what he said his full title is.
I can't remember. I feel like it's really long.
Yeah, but he basically does all the training and things as well. So he talks to the trade, so all of us guys, like on the retail side of things, and trains us. But yeah, we had, now the first one we sampled, because I sampled 3 in there. I think you only had the 1 in the end, didn't you? But you know me, I'd love to just sample everything. So I had the H. Upmann Majestic.
Oh my goodness,
which we both sampled that cigar that day. And both of us looked at each other and we're just like, there's a saltiness. But this is
so good.
Really, really good.
Yeah.
From that, I then had a Partagas Shorts, which one end to the other in terms of strength, but another cigar that I thoroughly enjoyed. And then we finished it off with a
Bolivar
Bellicoso Fino.
Which I put mine down. I forgot to take it at the end and I was gutted about that.
Well, that's one of your favourite Cuban cigars, right?
Yeah, definitely. During COVID, we did the virtual hearths, which were a fantastic way for people to connect during COVID because no one could leave the house. And, you know, on some of these calls, we were like 40 odd people on. It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
But one of those events, we were sampling the Bolivar Bellicoso Fino. Can't remember what the pairing was, but I loved that cigar. Mm-hmm. That was really, really good. I think there's a lot of... Again, this goes back to subjectiveness, but there's a misconception, to me anyway, that it's a really hard-hitting cigar. It's really heavy, intense.
Which, back in the day, they were supposed to be very, very strong.
Like pre what we would.
Yeah, so when I say back in the day, I mean a while back, but I remember speaking to Usman about it, and he said what Bolivar used to be really heavy-hitting, punchy tobacco, really, really quite a hard-hitting cigar.
Right.
But he said over the years it's kind of mellowed out a little bit more and it's become a little bit more approachable. Obviously it still tinkers into the medium to full or full-bodied cigar, but the strength profile isn't supposedly, as I say, I can't talk from my personal experience, but from what I've heard, it used to be way stronger than it is now.
I see. Right, that makes sense then, because the story is that Simon Bolivar was a really audacious character. Mm-hmm. And so the Bolivar range was meant to represent that. So that makes sense. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was a really kind cigar. I always say kind. Love that word.
Yeah.
I don't know why I explain it that way, but it's just a kind cigar. I just expected it to hit me hard. Mm-hmm. And then it kind of like surprised me because it didn't.
Mm-hmm. I think the easiest, in terms of if you think about strength, if we look at that day specifically, I had half of that breakfast muffin in the morning and then went on and sampled three Cuban cigars, 2 of them being full-bodied.
With not much to eat anyway.
Yeah. So if you think about it like that, it's not as heavy-hitting as you probably think. Obviously, my nicotine tolerance is quite high.
Yeah.
But if I was able to smoke or enjoy 3 cigars with next to nothing in my stomach, then it kind of suggests that strength profile is kind of mellowed down a little bit.
Yeah. I want another Majestic. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
I should have asked for one.
He'd have given you one as well. But yeah, that was a really, really cool day. They went into a lot of the, as I say, the leaves, the placement of the leaves, how they grow, and kind of the processes behind the Cuban cigar portfolio and how they create all these brands, what factories they were in and stuff like that. So another really insightful day for us. Obviously, as we always talk about, you learn something new pretty much every day. But yeah, just again, getting talked through that whole process from start to finish by someone that knows pretty much everything there is to know just gives you another really good appreciation for that.
I think Jimmy's such a fantastic host as well.
He held the room unbelievably well. He's got a very projected voice as well, hasn't he?
Yeah.
But you there was not an ounce of that where you sit there and think, oh, you know, because effectively the whole training session is obviously him talking through a PowerPoint slide, videos, things like that, which a lot of people and a lot of times you do them things, you sit there and think, oh, you know.
How long is this going on for? Blah, blah, blah.
But it was completely opposite, wasn't it?
He was really engaging as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was fun.
Yeah.
Informative. And hopefully he'll be on the podcast at some point.
Yeah, towards the back end of this year probably, if not start of next. But it's definitely just kind of pulling them strings and hopefully gaining a little bit more and getting a few new faces on. But yeah, for the podcast, I think we've got a few real exciting months ahead, and it seems to be going from strength to strength. Hopefully, obviously, you guys at home agree. But yeah, really enjoying it as always.
Yeah, we want to know who you guys want on the podcast as well. Always happy to hear your recommendations.
For sure.
So,
I just want to go back. Obviously, I know we spoke about the AITS, but I think they did. Obviously, you get to see a lot of things. So the brands normally set up their stations or their what are they called? Stands. That's not stations. Stands, and they have pretty much their whole portfolio, all of their accessories, and all of these things. Did you see anything sort of new or anything that was kind of like memorabilia that the brands had? Because I know Durastate brought a few quite cool little lighters, guitar picks, and things like that. But was there anything that kind of stood out?
I think I don't want to say too much because there are products that are going to be coming to us that I don't want to ruin the surprise of. But there was one which was less for the name lighter. Now that's a really cool brand.
Yeah.
But there was a new lighter that just felt really nice to hold. I can't remember
ergonomic kind of thing. I think it's the word, isn't it? If it feels nice in your hand, like a rock.
Yeah,
it just
like it wasn't big. Like you could put it in your pocket. It was quite slim. It just looked really smart, and so I'm really excited to get that in. I'm excited for you to see that as well. It just felt really good in the hand.
I think like the innovation from these brands, especially in recent years, it just seems to be something new all the time. And we have touched on it previously, but I don't really know how they keep coming up with all these ideas.
Well, they've got bracelet as well, haven't they?
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, I can never find one that fits. I've got small wrists, unfortunately.
So have I.
So I'd have to get like an extra small or something. But yeah, and it's also a punch cut. I mean, it's great because you can take them abroad. You can take them on a plane.
Yeah, like they don't really think about it, do they?
Yeah, but a punch cut isn't my preferred.
I personally, I've had punch cuts in the past, and I have enjoyed them, but I personally wouldn't recommend punch or V cut.
Yeah.
You get like a nasty sort of tar build up from those.
Yeah, you definitely can do, but.
And some people say that the V cut and punch cut also intensifies the strength.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of sort of pros and cons to all three different types of cut. Obviously, you've got straight punch and V cut. But again, that's sort of I guess a conversation for another time. Obviously, we've touched on it in previous videos.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just seems like you've got three options. How many times can you reinvent them three options? You know what I mean? It's the same as soft flame and jet flame. How many times can you reinvent that? But they seem to keep doing it, and obviously the guys at the top of them brands and the innovation side of it is just phenomenal. I mean, yeah, the hats off. They're doing a great job.
Yeah, definitely. We have actually picked out some accessories.
We have, yeah.
So we picked out our favourites, would you say? Or like ones that are up there?
Yeah. I wouldn't necessarily say favourites, but probably ones that I tend to reach for more often than not now. But yeah, they're just, for me, they work perfectly. So
cool. So I think we've got a cutter and a lighter each, haven't we?
Yes, yeah.
Do you want to start us off?
Yeah, I'll go for the sort of basic one, first of all. Obviously, I lit my cigar today with it. It's something that I've sort of gone back to. I said to you the other day off camera that it's something that I've always been around. People throughout my family have always used them, so it was always something that I then wanted. And obviously with the extra that I've purchased, I can now create that and bring that to enjoying some cigars. But that is a basic Zippo lighter. Obviously I have just put my cigar down. I have gone for the butane insert. My hands are slippy. Butane insert double torch. So when you do it, you've got the jet flame double. As I say, you can get jet flames that are triples, you can get quad flames, you can get single flames, and you can get duo flames. Yeah. For me, obviously, it was a choice between the single and the double in the Zippo inserts. I went for the double just because a single flame sometimes isn't enough for me. I mean, you get
especially if you're going on walks.
Yeah, and if you've got a large ring gauge cigar with one direct flame, it sometimes takes an absolute age to get there. So I just thought I'm usually enjoying larger ring gauges, sort of 50s up to sort of 54 or around those areas. But the double jet flame for me just seemed to work. And
it is ideal, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of the middle ground. I think 4. I mean, they're polar opposite. If you've got a quad jet flame and you're trying to light, say, a Lancero, you're probably going to char all up the sides and things like that. So
to hold it about a mile away.
Yeah, exactly. So I found that the duo flame, the double flame, is sort of the happy medium for me.
Yeah.
And as I say, you can get them in many, many different variations. I've just gone back to what I'm kind of used to, what I have a nostalgia for. And obviously that unmistakable Zippo sort of... That's funny.
Fail.
Zippo kind of click. I really
feels
like
good
it.
in your hand, just like to play around with,
Yeah, exactly. I'm putting that down to the fact that this insert's new, so that's not thingied. Because, see what I mean?
Yeah.
I only bought the insert yesterday, so it's new. That's why there's not. I get some WD-40 in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my current lighter of choice. But we'll go to your lighter first, and then we'll go back to cutters, I reckon.
So, I said earlier, the band on the Inca reminded me of the lighter that I've got here, or something that I had here. So it's like a turquoisey colour. So bear in mind, I don't use this lighter because I can't afford it. But it's one of my favourites.
It's just a massive investment, right?
Yeah.
But it's definitely one that stands out, and I'll let you explain.
So this is the ST DuPont Line 2 lighter, and this has a turquoise front and back to it. But it's also made with palladium, a really, really premium material. Rare metal. But it just...
The unmistakable ST DuPont cling.
I think it's funny.
That's the premium version of the Zippo cling.
Yeah, essentially.
The very, very premium version of a Zippo cling.
It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
It really is. And I know that, actually, I have some insider information. ST DuPont are changing their logo. So it's going to be different on future products going forward.
Their logo's changed on their advertisements at the moment, hasn't it?
Yeah, so it's going to be that.
Yeah.
So this has the classic ST DuPont logo. I don't know. I mean, I love the colour green. Turquoise isn't green, but it's close.
Yeah.
So my ring has green in it. My watch has green in it. My bracelet, which is broken at the minute, was green. I've got green on my train. I just love the colour green.
Yeah.
So this was basically a no-brainer to me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, listen to this.
Oh. And that hits the exact same decibel across every single lighter they create.
Oh, yeah.
So if that goes through to the final stages and that cling gets checked and it is out, start from scratch. The lighter doesn't pass, it doesn't go into retail, which is another massive a nod to them with their quality control and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
And if I believe they're created from one specific material. There's not multiple uses of different... So the palladium will all come from that same source of palladium. So it wouldn't be, say, one bit over here and one bit over there and they mash it together. It's kind of all one solid metal that's come together.
I think so.
I'm pretty sure, because we had Jerry here with the thing and he was speaking about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the process behind them as well is another one. It's phenomenal. But hopefully we probably will be able to get someone from sort of Stone, ST DuPont, and maybe we can have more of an insight into the accessory side of things on that.
Definitely.
Because they'll obviously relay the information and all of that stuff way better than we can. But yeah, phenomenal lighter.
Yeah. Before we move on to the cutters, should we just go back into the cigar a little bit?
Yeah.
The Inca. This is beautiful. Really, really beautiful. Super, super smooth. I'm getting notes of nuts. I wouldn't say it's as sweet as a peanut.
Okay.
But it's maybe like an almond.
Okay, yeah.
So there's a sweetness to it. But yeah, that's really prominent. And I think that's the main note that I'm getting. Really good. Really good. Yeah, really enjoy this so far. Construction's perfect. No issues whatsoever.
Yeah.
What about the Uncle?
Alcohol?
Uncle.
Yeah, another one I am thoroughly enjoying. Obviously, sitting here chatting with you and going over some things kind of makes the experience a little bit nicer, obviously. But yeah, the cigar itself holding up really, really well. And in comparison to the Encore Majestic, the other one I sampled, it is definitely on a level playing field. They're on par. It is a very, very good cigar. I'm enjoying it just as much as I enjoyed that Encore before. Notes are a little bit deeper, a little bit earthier.
Okay.
There's definitely, as I said earlier, with the whiskey, it's bringing a little bit of a citrus note out. I'm not specifically sure which kind of note it is. I wouldn't say it's like an orange or a lemon or anything like that, but there is definitely that
like
little bit of like a little bit of a freshness there. But again, really, really complementary to the rest of the blend. Subtle sweetness here and there as well. But yeah, just another one that I'm thoroughly enjoying.
I think they're good picks this month as well, because you got the one that's really light in strength. I'd say this is light in strength anyway. Smooth, creamy, and then you've got one that's a little bit more intense and a little bit more complex as well.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's definitely a treat.
What would you say strength-wise? Because they won't know this, but you had a snooze. Was it a snooze?
Yeah, tobacco pouch.
Snooze, tobacco pouch. Yeah,
literally 2 minutes before we smoked this or sampled this.
Great idea.
Yeah, testing the boundaries always. I'd say medium. I reckon it could probably tinker on to. No, I wouldn't say it would tinker on to full. I would say that this for me is a medium body cigar, full of flavour, but strength-wise medium definitely. I don't think you've got that real nicotine kick or that buzz, but it definitely isn't mild, if that makes sense. So yes, middle ground, really, really enjoyable.
Nice. The ash just fell on me.
Yeah, usually that's me, but I've actually caught it both times.
I just thought I'd be nice this time. Because if it's me, it's not you.
Yeah, I was going to say, it makes it look a little bit more acceptable when I drop it every single episode multiple times. But yeah, safe to say, enjoying it. And as I say, it's going really, really well with the Glendronach. I think I say that right.
Glendronach. Something like that, yeah.
You all know what I mean. But yeah, the 12-year-old. Really, 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 really good pairing for me.
Cool. Right, let's move on to the cutters.
Okay, so
Cutter.
my cutter's down here on the floor.
Okay, cool.
So it's still in the box. Obviously, we touched on Le Fin Lam or Les Fin Lame, or I think it's Le Fin Lam, but I think it's French. Yeah, French.
Le Fin Lam.
Le Fin Lam. But I have absolutely fell in love with their cigar knives. Again, probably nostalgic pocket knives and things like that. But I just think like it just looks so nice. Unbelievably sharp, very versatile. You can use it for pretty much anything. Obviously, it doubles up as a regular knife.
Chopping the carrots.
Yeah, well, I was thinking more like box openings and things like that.
Oh, yeah. More like that.
But obviously, it has the aperture in the handle where you can just rest your cigar sort of on there, and then you close the blade on the top and it cuts your cigar. The blade being as sharp as they come, absolutely no trouble getting through any cigar. But yeah, I don't know. It's just slightly different. Every cut is always like a guillotine, or it just takes it back to basics, back to the historical view of sort of knives and cutting, and you can't know what I mean.
I think they've built sort of the benchmark for cigar knives, haven't they?
Yeah.
Because if someone says to you cigar knife, you're going to think of this brand.
Yeah, of course.
And they always have these really awesome designs on the knife as well, the blade.
Yeah.
So you've got a skull on that.
So yeah, I've got the skull, which very good luck trying to see this on the camera.
What is it called?
So this is the zero. See, I always get them mixed up with a name. Ziricot or Ziricote?
Ziricote.
Wood.
Something.
Which obviously
French accent.
But that's obviously the wooden handle, and then you've got I believe it's stainless steel. I would assume.
I presume so.
Can't remember. Everything seems to be stainless steel. But yeah, they've got the brand logo on the one side of the blade. You can get a plain blade with just a logo, but this one that I've got here has a skull or half a skull on the inside of the blade as well. So they do skylines. So they have like New York, they have London, they have Paris, they have things like that. So you can...
Cuba.
Yeah, you can go through many different styles, different wood finishes, carbon finishes. There's an absolute abundance of different styles and variations. So I think just the way it looks, the way it feels, easy slips in the pocket. You can get little sheaths to keep it safe as well. But yeah, just something that I keep going back to and keep using more and more.
Just don't take it through an airport.
Yeah, I would advise not to do that. You might have a little bit of trouble getting through customs.
Yeah, it is a great pick if you are a connoisseur, like a proper cigar connoisseur. You want to invest in a good cutter. That's going to be a great pick.
Yeah, for sure. They have different price points as well with obviously the different materials they use. I mean, they get up, I think the 18 karat gold one's what, £549 or something stupid like that. Which is very expensive, like, but it's gold plated 18 karat, very strong, whole, very heavy, durable. But as I say, you've got cheaper variations that are around about the 129, 150 mark.
Yeah, but I think it's worth it because they last. They do last like a long time.
For sure, yeah, definitely.
I mean, that's what Alfonso from Tor uses. He swears by that.
Yeah. I actually used it on the last podcast.
You did, didn't you?
With the Durastate, yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Which I mentioned Alfonso's technique to cut, and that's how I use it now. But yeah, I forgot about that. But what about you? What cutter have you gone for? I mean, I know what cutter you've gone for, and I can see a bit of a pattern here, a trend in terms of colour.
What do you think that is?
I believe it's going to be green.
Yep, you're right. So, Calibri. Calibri, I personally love. Reliable, you get like 2 years warranty on everything. It's just fantastic. So I've picked the Calibri S cut. It's brilliant straight cut, very simple, but it's sleek, fits in your pocket really easy. I mean, it's so thin.
I was going to say, look how thin it is, but
it's just beautiful. And again, it's green, which is me all over. Green with jealousy of anyone that owns it. But yeah, fantastic cutter. And these are a little bit cheaper than the Les Fin Lame. Yeah. So these are what, about £40?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, I think there's as I say, a few different variations. So the price varies a little bit, but yeah, you can get them for around about 40, 50, £60.
But yeah, that's my pick. Perfect straight cut. Super sharp blade, really pleasing mechanism. Yeah. Just don't put your finger in there.
So I have the SV, and because of how much I do exactly what you've just done, the spring has now sort of fingered, or the mechanism sort of messed up. But obviously, again, with a warranty, you can get that fixed, no problems.
Well, the SV cut is a great pick as well. I mean, this one catches your catches your tobacco, the cap. Which is really handy if you're out and about and you don't want to just drop it.
Yeah, for sure.
Or if you're inside.
Yeah. It's just, best of both worlds. You've got the straight cut on the front, V cut on the back, or vice versa. It's a little bit thicker. So obviously, if you want something a little bit more sleek, definitely go with Lewis's pick. It's probably, half a centimetre maybe? Or a centimetre, would you say?
About a centimetre.
In thickness.
Yeah.
But slides in and out of your pocket very easily. So yeah, a no-brainer for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I want to take things back because we are at the halfway point through the month, or almost anyway.
Through the month or through the year?
For the year, right.
Yeah.
The last podcast we did on our own was in December.
For January.
No, January.
Yeah.
And we spoke about New Year's resolutions. Yeah. So I kind of want to pick up from there and see how we're getting on. Because you set a New Year's resolution for yourself, which I think is really interesting. And that was to try, I believe it was about, you originally said 5.
Yeah.
But then you changed it to 3 because I was like, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So your aim was to try 3 new cigars every month.
Yeah.
How's that been going?
I think so far I've done it. I think so far I've done it pretty comfortably. Yeah, it's a resolution that's not necessarily forced me, because it was something that I wanted to do anyway. And obviously we spoke about yours, or we'll speak about yours shortly, but you said something about brand variation.
Yeah.
You know, some brands are smaller, so you don't get that much variation. Some brands are massive, so you can stay on the same brand for months. But it's sort of forced me to look elsewhere and choose different cigars to try and meet this thing, which has landed me on a few absolute beautiful cigars, especially like the one today, the Drew Estate Blackened, the original Encore. There's been many cigars that I might necessarily not have picked up before, just through the absolute variation and the amount of options you have. But yeah, it's a resolution that's kind of forced that upon me, and I'm glad I set it, because I think when we spoke about it, I'm not one to normally do these resolutions. I think I touched on the fact that you can kind of set the bar really high, and it kind of sets you up for failure if you don't reach it. So it adds stress, all of this stuff.
Yeah.
But this one's quite doable, especially in the industry that we're in, the connections that we have. It's definitely a doable thing, and so far so good. I have definitely managed. Obviously, I've got the list on my phone, so I can give you the exact number if you would like.
That'd be good if you could.
Yeah, I'll see if I can get it out with my gammy hand. But we'll just touch on yours. Obviously, yours was brand variety and trying different brands and things like that. So
safe to say, I think.
Definitely done so, yeah.
New brands as well.
Yeah.
Less for less.
Yeah.
Ooh, looking forward to trying more from them.
I was going to say, to be fair, I would have managed to meet Maze in at the trade show. The 3 new cigars, I probably would have been able to do that in one day.
Yeah, probably. I mean, we got given so many.
Yeah, I know. You also mentioned that you wanted to not necessarily pick up, but create more top 10s. And obviously that's something that we kind of do together now. Obviously you do your own stuff as well. Mm-hmm. But that's one that's kind of hit and miss, right? It's a very difficult one to commit to and guarantee, with especially the workload that you have. But how would you say that you've got on? Do you think you've reached that and met that?
I think I've made one. We've made one.
Yeah.
The top 10 New World cigars.
When was the one before that though? We did the top 10 cigars you should try in 2025 too. That was the first one. So
and there was an accessory one.
Yeah. So
I don't know if that was this year though.
The accessory one, I don't think. I think that was last year. But the top cigars to try in 2025 is obviously definitely this year. I think it was beginning of the year.
Oh yeah, I'd be worried if it was last year.
But yeah, no. Again, that's something definitely that you're working on, we're working on, and something that hopefully in the near future we'll get more of.
Definitely. We want suggestions as well. If you guys want any particular video types, just let us know. If you want more review style videos, if you want more general chats, kind of like a mini podcast, if you want anything news based or I don't know, anything
educational, anything like that. Obviously, we're open to suggestions. We're quite willing to try and do as much as we can. Obviously, effectively, we're doing this for you guys, so your opinion matters quite dramatically. So yeah, let us know, and we'll see what we can do. Pull some strings.
Did we have any personal ones?
Yes, I remember. Yours was to be consistent and carry on keeping up with the gym.
Oh, okay.
Which, safe to say, I think you've definitely done so. You've made quite a lot of progression recently.
I think I'm doing all right. I've kind of slacked off a little bit because I think when we filmed that podcast, I hadn't started Muay Thai yet. And since then I've started Muay Thai, which is essentially, I get a lot of people go, Muay Thai? Muay Thai?
It's like a form of...
It's kickboxing.
Yeah.
It's Thai kickboxing, but you can use elbows and knees. Now, I've not had a fight at this point. Maybe in the future, I don't know. But at the minute, I'm just training. I got trained tonight after this, actually. Some sparring here and there, getting absolutely ruined by 14-year-olds in there because they're absolutely crazy at it.
Yeah.
It's intense. I mean, I've been doing it twice a week, so it kind of takes time out of the gym, but it is also a workout in a way. It's really intense. I mean, you're doing like 3-minute rounds of shadow boxing, and then you're doing like sit-ups or crunches or a plank for a minute, and then you've got a 30-second break. Then you do another 3 minutes, then you're on the bags for 3 minutes, and then it's like a non-stop cycle.
Sickening, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, I got lucky because when I started, obviously it was a winter, so it was like quite cool. Mm-hmm. But now we're coming towards summer, like that hot weather is nasty. It really is. But fantastic coach, fantastic people. It's great fun.
Mm-hmm. It also, obviously, I'm not saying you didn't have before, but it's also an element. It teaches a discipline as well, right? The same as any combat sport, it teaches a discipline and understanding the mechanics of your body and understanding all that thing. So, in terms of how you work and all of that thing and keeping yourself in a routine, especially with the gym as well, it gives you that extra little thing to look forward to, and it's probably making it easier to keep up with the weightlifting and the gym side of it, just because it adds a bit of variation.
I guess, yeah, in a way, but it's also surprising how different it is. Mm-hmm. So, obviously, when you're boxing, it puts a lot of tension on your shoulders. Mm-hmm. You've got your arms up all the time. You're always guarding, mm-hmm. and you'd be surprised no matter how much you lift in the gym for shoulders.
Makes no difference.
Those front delts gonna kill. It's gonna ache really bad. Mm-hmm. So there are a lot of times where I've like dropped my arms and my coach is like, hands up, and I'm like, oh God, like leave me alone.
Yeah, it's definitely more taxing than people think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
fully.
Mm-hmm, I can imagine. Obviously, I've not done jiu-jitsu. I've done boxing and things like that. And even that, you look at people on the TV and you think, oh, it's 3 minutes. What you got to do?
You've got no clue.
Try to do 3 minutes in a ring, trying to protect yourself, throw punches while somebody else is throwing punches at you. It's very, very difficult. And yeah, I mean, jiu-jitsu, you've got knees and elbows and absolutely everything to worry about. Same sort of MMA kind of thing. They've got way more to worry about than just fists. So yeah, mentally taxing, physically draining, taxing. Yeah. But as I say, it seems like you're doing really well with the gym stuff as well. I mean, visibly, you've gained the weight, you've gained the muscle, you've come a long way. So
yeah, it's weird to see. Like looking back, like 2 years ago, how skinny I was and how hairless I was on the face.
Yeah, it's insane when you look back at them photos and things, isn't it?
But I wonder if I'll ever do a fight.
I think that's the fighting aspect. I mean, you could learn, like, because there's people that spar and there's people that train that are absolutely fantastic at it. But if your mental block is there that won't let you get into a ring, that's a complete different kettle of fish. You could be great, but as soon as you get in there and, as I say, have someone standing in front of you, doing the same
audience as well.
Yeah, it's so much more pressure. So things kind of go out the window and it's kind of like survival mode kicks in. But yeah, I suppose it's about being composed, isn't it? But I think if you keep it up, and you get to the point where there's not really any more steps to take, I think that'll be then more when you sit there and think, okay, well, let me do it. Let me get in there and think. Even if you do it once, you'll get the experience and you'll know exactly what you're in for. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Definitely a long way to go before I do that. Yeah. It's a long process. I mean, I've not even got my first belt yet. I don't know when I'll get that, but it's. Yeah, I mean, some of the lads in there, they're quite young, some of them, like 14 to 16 or so. They're like third belt, and they look like professionals compared to me. So it's crazy how far you can actually take it. Some of these guys are insane. I mean, I don't know, I feel like I've mentioned his name to you before. There's a guy called Rodtang in Thailand. He's crazy. He's got, I think it's like 600 fights under his belt, and he's won 500 and something.
Yeah, that's insane.
He is like almost unbeatable.
Is it amateur or is it like a professional?
Professional. Okay. Like he is like top of the top.
Oh, okay.
Like everyone who does Muay Thai knows Rodtang.
Okay.
He is basically like the John Jones of Muay Thai. Oh. Yeah, really incredible guy as well. Mm-hmm. Like I remember hearing the story when he was younger. He didn't actually want to fight, but he had to in order to make money to feed his family.
Yeah, a lot of the time when you like a lot of these high level combat athletes, if that makes sense, a lot of the time they come from pretty much nothing, but that's their only way out. So yeah, hats off to those.
It's that desperation.
Drives you way more than you think. I think for definite.
But yeah, I've definitely noticed my shins have all been banged up, and
Yeah, you come in the other week with a few bruises up and down your shins where you're doing the conditioning side of things. Yeah. Good fun, though, I imagine.
Oh, it's amazing, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been keeping up with the golf?
Yeah, so I think my personal one was to try and marry golf and cigars, which I have done. But the view at the start of the year was to try and get into a YouTube channel in my own time and do that. Unfortunately, haven't found the time to sit down and do it. Probably don't play enough to keep up the content side of things. So at the minute, it's on the back burner. It's definitely something that I am intrigued to maybe get into in the future, but whether that be this year, next year.
Once you're healed.
Yeah, it's funny because the guy that I normally play golf with, I said, oh, I can't play for a while. And he was like, oh, bloody hell. And I was like, yeah, I know. But obviously, when you grip the club, that finger and that finger, they cross. Yeah. So you kind of interlock. Not everyone does it, but a lot of people do. I do. But unfortunately, the slices down that bit where my hands go together. So maybe after the walk and everything has had enough time to heal, maybe I'll get into it then. But yeah, definitely enjoy cigars around the golf course. As always, you've got plenty of time out in the open air, enjoying two things at once. So it's good. But yeah, unfortunately, no YouTube channel to look for at the minute.
That's a shame.
Yeah,
but we'll be the first to know once.
Of course.
Once that happens, and that'll be exciting to see. I'm sure you'll be great at it.
Yeah.
I've never seen you play golf either, so I've seen you take a shot.
That was before I actually played recently. So that was when I've always liked golf, and I played it a lot when I was a kid, as obviously we've mentioned, and then haven't played it for probably 15 odd years. But safe to say, from when we played last time to now, I'm a lot better. I'm a lot more consistent.
I'm not.
But we've been meaning to get round the course together for a while, so maybe that'll happen as well in the next few months. And then we can relay and let everyone know how that went. But should we touch on the amount of new cigar? I won't go through the whole list because what I've done is list absolutely everything.
I completely discarded that bit.
That's okay. In January, I managed to try 8 new cigars. February, 4 new. March, 4. April, 5. And May, so far, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So you're looking on the average around 5?
Yeah, say 4 or 5 each month. I'm doing pretty well.
Yeah, that's not bad, really.
Yeah.
Considering they're all new blends as well.
Yeah,
that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, so it's going well so far. Can't really complain. Obviously, there's a lot of duplicate cigars that I've sampled and smoked over those months as well. But obviously, you always go back to the ones you love, don't you? So, yeah, hopefully that'll continue throughout the rest of the year.
Definitely, it's exciting.
Yeah.
What are you guys smoking at home? I don't know why I said it like that. We're excited to hear what you guys have been smoking lately. Mm-hmm. What's been your favourite that you've had so far?
I was going to say as well, what's been your favourite month in terms of the subscription and the cigars that we've put on? Any month that has kind of stood out to you, ones that you've really, really enjoyed, even a specific cigar that you've enjoyed. It doesn't necessarily have to be a specific month. But, let us know, because then we can kind of get an understanding of what you guys enjoy at the same time. So then we can kind of make these picks a little bit more tailored, if that makes sense. So, any comments, any suggestions, anything that you can kind of give back, we will then try and do the exact same and, accommodate, I guess.
Cool. Should we ask the last question?
The age-old question.
For me or not for me? Is that...
Yep.
I forgot what it was.
But I'll let you go first. What do you think?
Oh, for me.
Yeah.
This is beautiful. I feel like this is one that it's not complex, really. I feel like this is great for someone who is a novice or someone who's an aficionado. Mm-hmm. There's not a lot going on in terms of flavour profile, but it's just super smooth, like really smooth. A great morning cigar, I'd say. I'm not getting any strength from it whatsoever. Mm-hmm. But that's where that comes in. So if you want something with a bit more strength, that's a perfect pick. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me.
Yep.
I'm going to stop talking because my throat's going nuts.
I would have to agree again. This is definitely a cigar for me. But yeah, I guess just let us know in the comments. Are these cigars something that you would usually enjoy? Are these something that you have kind of new to, that you've found pleasantly surprising, or, you know, what you didn't like about them, things like that? But as I say, anything that you can feed back to us, we can then kind of tailor it, make some more suggestions, and hopefully help you out finding a cigar that is for you.
Of course. Let us know what you think of these cigars. But as always, thank you so much for watching. I don't know why I paused there.
I was just going to say, it's been an absolute pleasure, to be fair. We always say to the guests, it's been a pleasure to sit down and conversate and talk about all of these things. But it's been good to catch up. It's been good to hear about your weekend away, you know, some new releases that may be coming or will be coming. But yeah, very insightful. And as I say, I've enjoyed it.
Likewise. But yeah, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please do that. It helps us out greatly. Follow us on Spotify if you haven't already, and Instagram too. And until next time, stay safe and happy herfing. Peace.